Hello, slow parenting. This podcast on Nostalgia Media. My name is Richie Adewusi. Welcome. Well, at this part of the world, you know, you save from daytime, you save on daytime, some other time you well, is it loose? Okay, something gets taken away from the day. So right now, about getting p.m. Eastern Standard Time, US and Canada. No, it's 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in Canada. So I'm trying to fix that out. So we'll get that sorted out, and then we're about 5-6 minutes late for the stream. Sorry about that. At least we'll get going with the proper time frame going forward. Okay. Yeah. So welcome to this edition of the program, and today we are going to be looking at getting our children to, well, have the right kind of mindset about getting to do things for themselves, because that's really what it is, getting to do things for themselves, which would ultimately prepare them to face certain circumstances and situations later in life, or believing that getting them to get involved in those things is some kind of well, abuse in some places, some kind of believing that they must have maybe better things to do with their time. We'll look at all of those, how they turn out to be, what do they mean, or what they should mean to us right now, especially those of us who have children who are still growing up. And for those who, what are you seeing? So just get on, engage, please. If you've not subscribed, please support us, support the Slow Parenting podcast here with us. Please kindly subscribe, share this with your friends. Every week we come around to try to take on some issues. Yeah, we know it's there. Not really taken for granted, but then they don't really mean what they should mean to us. So today we're going to be looking at the issue of children, our children, and doing chores. And the question we've asked in the promo to this program is, do you feel that chores are beneath your children? That's the question. Do you, doing things, helping to get things sorted out at home, clean up, wash up, arrange? And when I say wash up, clothes, cars, whatever needs to be washed. Okay, more, have the long, more general housekeeping chores. They are beneath your children. Well, by the end of this podcast, you might want to have a different right now. And then while you're thinking about what's he going to say, that while we have money, you're comfortable, so you children don't have to do every kind of thing that need to happen at home. Or, well, let's leave it there before we go to the okay. those maids, servants, who you've gone to hire, guess who trains them? Most of them. We know that in some cases, circumstances and situations train people that circumstances and situation gets to train. So they get to learn things that didn't bother with or didn't help them with getting to learn to do that. Well, this is about what I need to be doing now to get going. So those their parents trained them. Okay, so just guess what would have happened or what would happen if their parents didn't take time to put them through to get to know the things that they know, which they're, wow, thank God I can pay. My children don't have to do this. There are a number of things wrong with that, disposition. Okay? There are so many things wrong with them. Let's take them one by one. Okay? Now, your children need to have things around them be in order, sorted out. They have needs in the home. You are the ones who get those that. I'm not talking money needs now. I'm talking housekeeping needs. Okay? As you perform those chores, those tasks around the home at those times. Okay? Your children watching you. Remember, we talked so much about modeling, modeling and mirroring. Or you're one of those parents that will no, can do those, let the housekeeper come. Your children are watching you. They're watching. That's not my job. But then, let's look at the economic side of the mindset. Maybe you have money, you are well-to-do, you don't have a problem with paying for services. Okay, you also prepare your children, you're also preparing your also pay for services for things that would need done. Of that, you very sure? Wrong. Wrong. The phrase unforeseen circumstances. Most languages have it in different forms. Whichever culture have a variety of that saying would bring. You don't know. So it's better. Yes, you have the money now. Yes, you can pay for whatever services now. Yes, maybe you can show how you grow up, but you can fix how your children grow up. You can't go back. Actually really not sincere with ourselves. We're not happy with what happened with us as we were growing up. But what people begin to have children, settle down, begin to have children, and they begin to grow, of course, we want to give our children the best. One of the best things you should give children is to let them to learn how to do things by themselves. I'm not talking academically. I'm talking experientially. And I will share some of the reasons why I'm talking experientially. Now, first, moving on from the economic issue, this is the psychological issue. It's okay, first, well, that's beneath me. So if it's beneath you, it's beneath your children, someone else has to come to do them. Guess what you're telling? Guess what you're saying? You're saying that these are the kind of people who should do this kind of thing. So your children grow up with the mindset that some people are less than human beings. That they are the human beings. Those other people are not human beings. So your children would not have respect for work. They will not have respect for what people do, for service. They believe that work and service is what some people should do. It's not for them. Sorry, we have a contribution from a community member. Let's say what it is. Would you say parents should give their kids the worst when they do chores, or it should just be the norm in every household? Well, I'll come back to this, but let's just, get done with the intro to this discussion today, because that's what we're doing now, actually doing the intro. Now, your children having the mindset that certain chores, really, washing, cleaning, cooking, are beneath them, would go on in life to look down on people who do those. So now imagine what then happens when your children, with everything you've built around them, find themselves in environments where either travel, school, or circumstances beyond their control. They find themselves in, I don't want to use the word hostile, because who made it hostile? Your parents made it hostile for you. So you made it hostile for your children, because you didn't equip them to be able to function in any circumstance and situation of life. Okay? I have spoken so much on this program, different episodes, about cooking. Okay? I often tell you, I often say, I love to cook, and that's true. And there was somebody who was responsible for that happening, my mother. I I just wonder what would have happened with me here, where I am at, talking to you. I live in Canada, and I wonder what would have happened if I didn't know how to cook, and then I have this mindset that if I have not eaten, swallow, in Nigeria, we eat spicy meals, okay, exotic spicy meals. And we have, food types that, well, the soup is there, you have uh, the accompaniment, which would be either some moldy foodstuff made out of some starchy substances, different types. I don't want to go into their different names: pounded yam, eba, amala, laughing. If I haven't eaten swallow, I'm like I've not eaten, no matter what it is, I have not eaten anything. So, and in Montreal, where I live, yeah, I know of only two restaurants, and both of them are some distances from most people who are Nigerians. So I wonder what would have happened if I couldn't cook. I'm talking me now. A cousin of mine called a few years ago and so how are you? How are you coping? How are you managing? I'm like, I'm okay. Then well, he said, well, they, you know, well, okay, why don't you get people to take care of things for you, wash your clothes, cook for you? I laughed. I laughed. I laughed. Of course, you could do those, yes. But then you will need a major bank loan to be able to uh, pay those salaries, pay those bills. It's not the same thing because that person that called, that cousin that called, has an understanding, has a knowledge that I had people around me who did practically everything that I wanted done and was wondering, oh, you are there, nobody's there with you. And then how are you managing? Yeah. And at those times, I would say, thank God for my mother. Your children have gone off, they are doing well in school. Yes, you have everything you need, they need to keep growing and going to wherever, whatever part of the world you want them to go to or they choose to go to. You can afford it. They arrive at those parts of the world with no skills for doing chores for themselves. I would have suffered beyond measure if I didn't. Okay? And it's just my strides of of things that happen. It's no big deal. And cook, clean up, wash up. It's no big deal. But your children have arrived. Let's look at the other side of this thing, this scenario. They've arrived from your helicoptering management control system. They've arrived in a place where a strange place. They're alone. Okay, they can't cook, they can't wash, they can't. Well, they could still guess have their ways around the washing thing. They go to laundromat, maybe if they live in a hostel environment. Well, some people clean the hostel environment. Yeah. For food, they would have no choice but to eat what's available. And sooner than later, they get they also get culturally conquered because they will eat what is eaten in the environment that they find themselves in because they were not prepared to be able to make their own meals. There's no part of the world you won't find foodstuff to make Nigerian meals or make your traditional meal. But wherever part, whichever part of the world you come from, you will always find stores that sell foodstuff with which you can make your home or your cultural kind of meals. But what happens with learning if you did with learning how to make them when you should have? It will have health implications. Oh, well, back home, it's possible too that what you are eating where you arrive at is also what, because of the same thing, maybe to eat the traditional meals that be what will happen once in a while when the maids and the cooks are around. If they are not living maids and cooks, when they've gone, well, whatever is at home, So there might not be any difference. But someone you've lived, you have your meals being your traditional, that's what you've been used to eating, and you arrive in an environment, you arrive in an environment where you can't easily access those, or you have to eat. So you eat what's available. Your immune system eventually gets adjusted, gets impacted. You begin to, as you begin to eat what you find in the environment where you find it. So over time, you also become susceptible to the kinds of health conditions or challenges that people who live in those environments have, because your body system is not getting what it's been used to. Talking too much grammar here? No. You're used to eating spicy meals, and you arrive in an environment where you can, I mean, the idea of spicy is some shake in some bottle that, you know, your system will first fight against those, first reject those you have problems with before you could adjust or can adjust to them. I'll share another story here. Sometime ago, a few years ago, well, about 11 years ago or so, I went to India, and where I stayed at, they would bring the meals. The closest thing I find to eat, I don't like to eat rice. No, I mean, on my own at home, rice is not one of those things I would go for. No. But that was the most recognizable thing I could say, okay, rice and mushrooms and like that. And it was bland, no spice. And like, that went on the first day, the second day, the third. And I had to call the manager of the place. I asked to see the management. And then somebody came and said, it's the uh, customer restaurant manager. I'm like, I like to eat spicy meals. Okay, there's no spice, no pepper in this meal. So, oh, well, don't worry, we'll fix that. From tomorrow, don't worry, I would instruct the caterers. The very next day, I was waiting for my spicy. I would have something to eat. I was waiting for my spicy meal. Of course, they brought me a bowl of rice with some sauce and another bowl, a different bowl this time. So I was curious to know what was inside it. So I opened this bowl, it was blended pepper, fresh. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. Sorry, I'm laughing this hard. Fresh blended pepper, not cooked in any way. Like, are you for real? Now, seriously, listening to this, you will say, okay, in that situation, what would you have done? What would you do? I mean, you don't have a kitchen, you don't. Well, that's of course, sometimes, of course, I did something. Of course, I asked to see the person again. And I said, this is not, the pepper has to be that has to be cooked with the sauce. And he said, please, I hope you don't mind. Can you Can I bring somebody and you tell the person what you want done and how you? Yeah, I said, yeah, by all means. Do you want me to come to your kitchen? I can come if you permit me. He said, why? Okay, come. I followed them to the kitchen and I told the people preparing the things, please, me, I don't know if anybody else. Me, when you're preparing my meal, please, that. And for the remaining time I spent there, they managed to bring something that was close to, well, what I would have cooked. What if I didn't know how to? Okay, let's go back to this community members' contribution. Would you say parents should give their kids rewards when they do chores, or it should just be the norm in every house? Yes and no. Yes, if it's an appreciation, okay, an encouragement, okay. Yes, if it's wow, you did this. Oh, thanks. Not, Junior, go and wash the car. I'll give you $2 when you're done. No, don't do that. Junior will open a car wash company on you. And Junior will grow with the mentality that everything that should or could or would be done for people around him need to be monetized. Wrong idea. Junior, wash your car. Yes, how much are you giving me? You started it. I will give you $2 when you wash my car. But Juno has finished washing the car. You've shown Juno is following you about. Maybe you're the one who gets to wash your car. And at home, if you live in an environment where you could wash your car at home, and then you're washing the car, the Juno is around there showing you, talking, you saying, this is how to clean this is how to clean that. It's most likely that at some point, would wake up before you go to the car. At some point, wrote, will go wash that car without you saying. And then if you now say, wow, you did this. Wonderful job. Wonderful job. Give me five. And you take $1, $2, whatever it is you decide. 10 naira, 5 naira, 100 naira to take. Buy something for yourself. That's not a bribe. That's appreciation. That's motivation. That's motivation. And that should happen. Let your children learn to do things. Encourage them, appreciate their efforts at doing those things. What you give don't necessarily have to be money. It could just be that high five. Give them monies and stuff for their pocket monies. If you have an arrangement, if you can afford it, to give pocket monies to your children periodically. So it's not attached to anything. So they already know that, yeah, this is, yes, your children can ask you legitimately, Dad, what about my pocket money? Yes, because that's an established ground rule, boundaries that you've set. You get X amount as pocket money every week, every month, the time frame, you agree. So Junior is legitimately entitled to say, Dad, what about my pocket money? Not shouting from across the street, though. Okay. But Junior has washed the car. Said, Dad, what about my money for washing the car? Okay. No. Okay. So that's why I said yes and no. Okay. We're going to take a break now. We're going to watch the video. Okay. We're going to watch the video on this. When we return, we will, have our discussions based on that video and any other contribution that community members might bring on. So please stay tuned. Don't go away. Okay. We're going to watch the video now.
Harvard did a 75-year study on the connection between chores and success later in life, and the study concluded that children who do chores from a young age are more successful later in life and happier. But the most surprising connection of all was the connection between chores and self-esteem, as in the children tasked with doing chores presented as more confident adults. And Harvard did a 75-year study on the connection between chores and success later in life, and the study concluded that children who do chores from a young age are more successful later in life and happier. But the most surprising
Welcome back. Okay. So what did you see? So what we've been talking about here isn't just some brainwaves coming from me. It has a lot of research backing it. When your children get used to doing chores, it boosts their self-confidence. It boosts their relationship issues. It boosts how, it impacts on how they relate with, they view other people, relate with other people. It boosts their sense of and for appreciation of labor. You know the saying they say there's dignity in labor. Yes. Because there's hardly anything we use in life that most of the things we take for granted that we use are born out of some form of labor. People do them. Okay? If those people who do those things do not do them, you wouldn't get some of the things, all of the things actually you take for granted to use. The cook didn't come. Oh, what are we going to do? Okay, order some food. Please order some food. You order. The cook didn't come. The cook was ill or is ill or traveled or because you didn't prepare your children to be able to get in there, or you get in there, have some things. If you're preparing anything, your children watch you. It's you, it's what you do, what you're doing that they see and they follow. You are not doing, they're not. Where are they going to learn it from? Who's going to teach them? Okay. We have another contribution here from another community member. Let's see what it is. He said, how do you handle it when your child resists or refuses to do their chores? Let's go back to the beginning. How did the resistance come about? The junior that has been following you to go wash your car when you're watching, junior, junior John Junior, JJ, that has been following you to go wash your car when you're washing your car. It's not suddenly going to tell you, I'm not going to wash your car. Okay? The MJ, the Mary Jane that's been following you, please, I don't mean any gender. I'm not discriminating here. I'm just picking, or maybe, okay, I should have said the MJ, Mary Jane that followed you to go wash the car, and then JJ, the John Jr. that followed mom to go cook in the kitchen. It doesn't matter who. Like I said, my mom taught me how to cook, so don't even come here with the gender bias thing. It's not, I'm gender blind when it comes to responsibilities and any other thing. Human beings are human beings to me and to my children. Okay? If your children have learned from you how to do those chores, they're not likely, it's unlikely. It depends on what kind of relationship you built with these children have been issue. Remember, we always talk about boundaries. If you did not set those boundaries, if you don't agree on them, you don't agree on who is going to do what, and enforce those boundaries, get them to do what has been agreed to be done at when, whose turn it is to wash the dishes, mop the floor, well, cook whatever needs to be cooked if they've learned and they're, well, of the ages that you could, leave them alone in the kitchen to say cook. Okay? They're not going to tell you we want, at least not vocally. Attitude can show that I'm not doing that. The thing is not done, that is not done. Then the question now becomes, why is this not done? That could be some other issue. Not that they don't know how to or they don't want to, but maybe there's an unkept promise, just some emotional issues, relationship issues that are going through either with you or with their friends in school or wherever. So you need to first pay attention, ask questions, as what's going on, find out. Don't assume that he's refusing, he's being stubborn. No, don't do that. Ask, well, John, I noticed the dishes haven't been done. We don't have soap or something. Not that, Mom. Oh, okay, what is it? And when you hear not that, Mom, then just know that something else is up. Please make your way to where John is. Eh? And then put on your best personality to now have a conversation with John. So what's going on? You get to hear what the issue is, and at the end of the conversation, you probably hear, thanks, Mom, thanks, Dad, and John goes to wash the dishes. Okay. There's another contribution here. If one of my children is consistently showing responsibility and completing their chores better than his or her siblings, do you think it's fair to give them more tasks to handle, or could that cause issues? The answer is no. They say you should not kill the geese that lays the golden egg now. If one is more forthcoming, is more responsive to getting things done, spread it. But please don't compare them. Don't say, see, your brother, if it's your brother, he would have finished doing it. No, if it's your sister now, he would have done this perfect. Don't do that. Still go the route of, John, what's going on? Well, it's not Mary's turn today to wash the dishes. It's yours. Oh, no, but Mary washes the dishes better. I always have soap clinging to or whatever on the dishes. Oh, I mess the kitchen up. Oh, well, at some point, you get to know how to do it without messing up the kitchen. So just go do your dishes, okay? No, don't say, even when Mary's
This thing not happening in the moon. Every day, boom, regular home, on a daily basis. Have kids now, go around, spend all their time. Not productively, really. Even if it's you're doing online, body, business, whatever it is, you need to apportion your time. Whether you are a father, a mother, a daughter, a son, an adult, a child, we need to be better at time management as far as it concerns our relationship with devices. We should not let our time with devices online become obsession, bordering on. It's important that the broad canvas on which we must start to paint our parenting profile must be mutual communication, open, sincere, non-judgmental communication. That also becomes helpful when you are taking that child through how to do that chore that child is doing, but not getting quite right the first time. Oh, no, wait. Okay, let me show you. And the child went, okay, Dad, know that. It's important that the broad canvas on which we must start to paint our parenting profile must be mutual communication, open, sincere, non-judgmental communication. That also becomes helpful when you are taking that child through how to do that chore that child is showing interest.
Recording in progress.
His bit of the chores.
First.
Let Mary
No,
go
wait a minute.
some
Hey, wait, show you. Wait, okay,
other
Dad.
things, even if
Really?
she
I didn't know
doesn't
that.
have any other things to do. Let her go and rest. John should need. But then, now, here is the caveat here. By themselves or days, don't get involved. Don't get involved. I need to do some other things. I'll do that when it's your turn. I'll do it. Don't get involved. they're also learning partnerships. It's something that they are onto that will also help them down the road with in their relationship issues with other people. And don't seek to know how did this happen. You watch this yesterday, you are doing it again. Don't. If you keep your ears close enough to the ground, you will hear what had happened to know that, if you are patient, the next day you will see that it's that person that was supposed to have done the dishes today that will do it the next day. That will tell you that they had agreed amongst themselves on what to do. The important thing becomes that chore is done. Remember, we are talking about chores for those families that have said no, chores are not beneath our children. But what about those whose dispositions seem to suggest that chores are not things that their children, even in certain environments like, okay, it's child abuse. It's child abuse to ask your children to go, do the dishes, mop the floor, do the laundry. It's not child abuse. No matter how much money you have, no matter how comfortable you are, do your children a favor. Let them learn to do chores by themselves. In our family, due to busy activities of business, and we had a housekeeper up to a point in time when there were now, well, no one was below 10 years. And we had a conference, a meeting. Please, no more. To start with, at no time, did I sign up for having any child, any help that was below 18 work with us. No time. If you say your children are too young to do certain things, so why would you not go take some other person's child? No matter how challenged, economically challenged they might be, no matter how much you want to see you are helping them, whether they are relatives or neighbors. No. So that was number one. Number two, when the last of my children was over 10, and I said, okay, come on, guys, let's talk. There's no need for hiring any house help here. Before that conference, actually, the last house help we had, I said to, it was more than one person, I said to them, please don't wash any of the children's clothes anymore. They need to do their own laundry themselves. Don't clean their rooms anymore. They need to learn. They need to not learn because they know how to, but because there's a housekeeper, they will relax and then no. That has to stop. Okay, let them. Now, when I come to your room and it's not kept, you would explain to me why your room is not kept. You can't tell me because the house supplies. What happened to your hands? Yeah. Okay. They're like, oh, that, come on. Well, no, that house help that will come to do those things that while they're doing them, you cross your leg, you're watching the TV or you're playing some game. Somebody gave that to them. Somebody trained them to be able to do those things, or circumstances and situations train them to want to now do those things so that they can get a living out of them. Do you know where you're going to be tomorrow? Do you know what's going to happen to you tomorrow? No, Daddy. Cool. So clean your room, please, and don't let me see like this again. Do your dishes. If you need anything, to help you with doing those, say. So we'll go get them. And that became the norm at home. They could do their dishes, cook, do their laundry, clean their rooms, clean the house. They had to do a timetable, a roster for who is going to do what from that conference. And I can sit here as I'm sitting and tell you comfortably that, yes, anything that they are not doing now, even in the last one is in his 20s, late 20s actually, all right? Anything he can't get done now is, well, because he doesn't want to get it done. But, well, maybe he has a lot of money to hire people to do for him. Okay? We have a contribution here. Let's take it quickly because our time is... what are some consequences for not doing chores I should set for my children that actually work? Their pocket money. You can monetize, but discuss this. When you are discussing the chores and responsibilities, remember, always remember to set boundaries. Agree on rules, agree on consequences for not, okay? So if you are used to giving your children pocket money, it's simple. There's no need for shouting. There's no need for any physical shenanigans. No. Well, I can see your room is messed up. Well, that's a day's pocket money. Ah, that what? Before you go back there the next time, that sparkling clean. It works. It works. Have a day's pay cut from his paycheck. Anyway, okay, that's a paycheck. So your pocket money was not attached to your doing chores ability, but your pocket money is something you are entitled to. So reach out for that in society. People do not, policemen do not go about chasing people around to arrest them for misdemeanors and populating the police station with people that don't have any business being there. It's a ticket. What's the ticket? It's a fine. And the fine accrues interest if you don't pay it on time. Before, maybe in some very rare cases, it ends up before a judge somewhere. So apply that in your home, your relationship with your children. They don't do okay. This is 1 day pocket money. The pocket money is divisible into days, even into hours. So monetize misbehavior, the cost of misbehavior. Yeah, it works. Okay. Yeah. And the last one here says, the last one I'm going to take here says, should I assign a difficult time, like after he break up with his girlfriend? Excuse me, sir. You are bringing